Calculating Scope 3 emissions with WISIT. The Greenhouse Gas Protocol, which provides the most widely recognized accounting standards for greenhouse gas emissions, categorizes greenhouse gas emissions into three so-called scopes. Scope 1 covers direct emissions from owned or controlled sources. Scope 2 covers indirect emissions from the purchase and use of electricity, steam, heating, and cooling. By using the energy, an organization is indirectly responsible for the release of these greenhouse gas emissions. Scope 3 includes all indirect greenhouse gas emissions along a company's value chain, except indirect emissions from energy use. For most organizations, the majority of their greenhouse gas emissions reductions, as well as associated cost reduction opportunities, are outside of their own operations. Being able to measure and understand one's Scope 3 emissions therefore represents an important building block of an organization's effective climate change strategy. Since the upstream and downstream activities of an organization are very complex, the resulting Scope 3 emissions have been classified into 15 categories, ranging from purchased goods and services and capital goods within the upstream activities to franchises and investments among the downstream activities. In most cases, downstream emissions remain unabated due to the challenge companies face regarding their limited direct control over these emissions, since a significant part of overall emissions is related to the product sold. Therefore, WISIT, WifOR Sustainability Impact Tool, focuses on upstream Scope 3 emissions and does not include the upstream category of employee travel, as the relevant information cannot be extracted from the spend data. WISIT allows organizations to measure and analyze their Scope 3 emissions. Let's take a look at how this works. Users of WISIT can select the type of analysis they want to carry out, in this case, Scope 3. As a next step, they select the macro file, meaning the underlying database on which they want to base their analysis. Let's select a multi-year file, which we call time series. Information on which macro file to choose is provided within the tool by clicking on the highlighted text. Next, we upload a prepared spend file. We have already taken care of this. Information on how to prepare the spend file is also provided within the tool by clicking on the question mark. Our guide on spend data preparation contains all the information in detail. Importantly, the spend file needs to include a column that is labeled Scope 3 category, and that then contains one upstream category per data entry. Once we have uploaded the respective data, we can create our new project. We have now landed on the data configuration page, where we can further define the analysis we want to carry out. We have the option to continue with the calculation straight away or to disaggregate the data further. Since we have provided a column with vendor information in the uploaded spend data, we can drag and drop this vendor column to the right. By clicking on this bubble here, we can indicate if we want to analyze, for example, the top 5 vendors by volume, or we can choose individual vendors. The user has the option to individualize these settings according to their requirements. If the spend data contained information on products or divisions, for example, instead of vendor, we could create scenarios with that information as well and set further filters. For now, we will go ahead without further specification. We can save any particular configuration by entering a name and selecting Save as New Configuration. At a later stage, when we open this project, we can then load different configurations in order to keep track of the different analyses we may want to carry out in the future. For now, we click on Start Calculation to retrieve the analysis. In the Results section, we have 3 different options to view and analyze the company's Scope 3 emissions, based on the uploaded spent data and identify potential hotspots. The overview provides, as the name suggests, a general overview of the Scope 3 emissions in total, as well as per category, as we can see here. Because it has been a multi-year file that we uploaded, we could also select the particular year that we're interested in, as well as we can select the tier that we want to further analyze and understand. Alternatively, we can choose the bar chart representation in which we can dive deeper into the analysis. On the left-hand side, we can choose if we want to look at total emissions or if we want to better understand a particular category of emissions. Let's stick with total emissions for now. We can then define our X and Y axes. We update the results, and we then have a chance to further understand the data and understand the contributions of each tier per year in this case. Another option is to choose the sunburst visualization. Similarly, we can choose the particular category we're interested in on the left-hand side. This time we could go for upstream, transportation and distribution. And then we select the elements we want to add. If we had included more columns in the data configuration page, we would have more options here. We could also drag and drop into this box for further analysis. We update the results and retrieve the sunburst diagram, which allows us to see which year, which category, which tier is contributing to the emissions. When we go back to the overview, we can then export the data as an Excel file. We provide further information in the user support and FAQ section. Should any questions remain unanswered, please reach out at any time. We have provided contact details in the tool as well. WISIT provides you with a scientific basis for the holistic management of environmental sustainability, insights into environmental hotspots and reduction potentials in the value chain. WISIT can lead to improved dialogue with external stakeholders, as well as it supports informed internal communication.